Paula in perfectly rounded bows as she brushed biscuit crumbs from her designer slacks, sending them to rest on Paula's freshly vacuumed rug. Paula eyed her next-door neighbour dubiously, knowing full well it was not Mandy herself attending to these tasks, but as was typical every year, had hired help to do her bidding. Paula doubted if her friend's impeccable red nails had ever seen manual work. In fact, Paula found it hard to remember Mandy being anything but well attired in their 10-year union. Her hair at least was low maintenance, Mandy preferring designer wigs, changing them at whim. Paula sighed as she witnessed Mandy taking up the I've been everywhere mug with utmost poise between forefinger and thumb, the pinky elevated to the right in keeping with the June Daly Watkins handbook. Paula instinctively ran a hand through her own golden mane, conscious it was the one asset she ruled over her extravagant friend. "Oh, I guess I'll start mine soon," she responded, defending the average little room in which they now enjoyed tea, surrounded by her husband and son's bric-a-brac. "But one gets so busy with other things. I mean, life's too short to mess with the housework." The penetrating look on Mandy's face, however, conveyed that spring cleaning was a serious business to the Mandys of this world and would not be meddled with in any shape or form. "We're thinking of replacing last year's furniture. So tiresome for the summer months. I'm thinking of going with a beach theme this year. You know," Mandy declared, throwing her red nails out wide. "Just letting the summer breeze right in." "Oh, I'd love new furniture," Paula concurred, looking about her hand-me-down suite that matched the hand-me-down other pieces of her modest weatherboard house. "But with the recent escalation of running costs—" I know," interrupted Mandy. "I can't imagine the brickworks pay Duncan very much, my dear," the smirk undeniable playing about her lips. Once again Paula was overcome with relief when Mandy left, stating pressing shopping commitments. Why could she never get her husband's name right? Leaning against the front door that closed on the better side of Mandy, Paula's eyes travelled up the staircase. It really was time to start spring cleaning while the menfolk were out. Yes, she concurred with her conscience. It was time, and headed up to their bedroom. With her hands on her well-rounded hips, Paula decided on the wardrobe first. Nothing like a good overhaul, she thought, as she dragged all their shoes out from the bottom, many of which had lost their partner long ago. Systematically, Paula set about bagging throwouts and setting aside the keeps. Dunlops, she. Regarding her husband's tradies, all torn and worn, she was just about to relegate the mess to the throwouts when a snippet of paper pushed through the inner sole lining. Crinkling her brow, Paula pulled the corner to send out not one, but a startling amount of $100 bills to the carpet below. "Bloody hell!" she gasped as she bent to gather up the tidy sum, fanning it out before her stunned eyes. "Bloody hell!" she repeated in a whisper, in case her brain did not register the first time. A kaleidoscope of thoughts flooded her mind as she continued to stare at this unexpected windfall. As the fog cleared, questions were the only thing that lingered. Stuffing the money in her jean pocket, she knew exactly the course of action to take. The daylight slowly faded as Paula, struggling with her full load of throwouts, greeted her husband from work. Helping her to deposit the unwanted load into the sulo, her husband pecked her on the cheek and inquired as to how long dinner would be. "It's bowling night with the lads, don't forget, honey. I don't want to be late. Riley's picking me up and—" She didn't hear the rest as he made his way to the shower, vanishing down the hallway, work bag casually tossed by the foot of the stairs. Typical, she thought, turning to enter the kitchen, her hand patting the bulging pocket, a Cheshire cat grin on her face. Dinner was a simple affair of sausages and mash. The conversation that accompanied the meal also proved a simple affair. Paula considered the man she had promised to be faithful to all those years ago and decided that ignorance really was bliss. His nonplussed stare and half-hearted smile as he gulped his food gave him an almost idiot appeal. Clearly it took so little to please her man. A reassuring pat of her jean pocket, however, reminded her that it took so little to explode him as well. She would have to handle the situation with great diplomacy. Yes, it will take a lot of that. The phone rang as Paula gathered up the dishes for the sink, a ritual she always did after bargain hunt. Mustn't miss that, especially now that she had money to dream with. It was while fussing with the channel control that fragments of Daryl's muffled conversation drifted to her ears. I can't talk right now. No, I haven't told her yet, but I will. More silent overtones then. Look, we'll talk about the money at bowling tonight. I haven't worked out the total cost yet. She eyed him closely as he entered the lounge room, her curiosity obviously oblivious to Daryl as he picked up his bowling bag and made his departure, his hand the last thing to vanish through the front door as he waved goodbye. Paula reclined in her 1940s tattered armchair, a smile slowly spread above the rim of her teacup as her mind's eye played out pleasing possibilities in her head, her right hand caressing the armrest, while bargain hunt entertained her vacant stare. "Oh, darling, your new furniture is divine," Mandy gushed a week later as she settled herself on Paula's recently acquired lounge suite, complete with 2 new armchairs. "So you finally took my advice. I'm so pleased. Of course, our new summer furniture is just gorgeous," Mandy rambled on, not coming up for air. "Has Duncan mentioned anything yet, or didn't he notice?" boasted her larger-than-life friend. "So like a man, dear." "No," replied Paula. "Daryl hasn't seen it yet. He's home late tonight." But not long after Mandy's departure, Daryl did see the new addition. Knowing their tight funds of late, Daryl raced upstairs to have his worst fear realised. She couldn't have. No, surely not. He was caught. That's torn it. Of course he would have had to have it out with her, and soon. Fidgeting all through dinner, Daryl couldn't contain his growing anxiety no longer, and finally questioned his wife. "Where are my Dunlops, dear?" Looking up from her roast beef, she replied, "They're in the bin. You helped me throw out the garbage, remember?" So, he conceded, the new furniture was bought with his hard stashed money. Or was it? The penny finally dropping. Surely she didn't. Fear madly rising up from his toes. And he had helped her throw it in. He had to really be sure. Shaking slightly so that his fork quivered in his hand, he asked about the furniture. "Well, it's better than splurging it all on a boys' weekend away fishing," she blurted out, slamming her cutlery down hard on her plate. Daryl winced. He had never seen her so angry. He never could bear her tears. It was wrong of him to keep the cunning kick, he knew, but the boys were so adamant he should go. Well, at least his money wasn't in the tip. He should try to make amends. After all, she'd already bought the lounge suite. There was nothing more to be said. The boys will just have to go without him. Disappointing, though. It took months to save that money. "Honey," he began, turning her to face him, entwining his fingers through her lion's mane. "If you want to know the truth," he lied, "the money was for you. Well, you and I." She creased her brow, suspicious of his change in attitude. "What do you mean?" "A cruise, darling. I know how you've always wanted to go on one." He turned and mockingly appraised the new furniture, caressing the fabric as he spoke. "But now that you've bought this, I guess we won't be going," he bluffed, relieved he wouldn't have to follow through on his promise. Boats and planes always made him dreadfully ill. "Oh, darling, but we can go," she gushed, clapping her hands together in glee. He spun about, that scary feeling once again rising up from his toes. "What? But it's Mandy's old furniture," she gasped, cutting him off abruptly. "I never paid a penny for it." Going to the hidey hole, she retrieved all 200 of the $100 bills, banding them out before him.
Good plan, girls.